It is the land of the Vikings, the country of tall warriors. The term Scandinavian describes it, and it wouldn't be offended if you called it a Nordic country. It is known for its happy citizens, setting it apart from the rest of the world. In other parts of the world, there's a system called capitalism, characterized by a pyramid structure where a few indulge at the top while the masses are crushed at the bottom. Here, however, the country has combined a capitalist market economy with a comprehensive welfare state, often called the Nordic model. This model is built on social equality, high living standards, and a strong sense of social justice, as recognized by the OEC and the World Happiness Report. It's a country of equality where social justice prevails, a place where the capitalist pyramid has been balanced by robust social policies. Education is provided for free. If you think many countries do that, please be patient for a moment. Here, for citizens and eligible EU EEA students, the government provides a monthly grant. However, most non-EU EEA international students are not eligible for these grants unless they work a certain number of hours or have specific ties to Denmark. If you get sick, medical treatment is free. Most healthcare services are covered by the public system, though some services, such as adult dental care and certain prescriptions, may require a co-payment. Private health insurance is available and often used for faster access to specialists, but it is not necessary for basic or emergency care. You don't have to worry if your income is low. If your workplace suddenly lays you off, you don't have to worry about how you'll survive. If you are a member of an unemployment insurance fund and meet the requirements, the government provides unemployment benefits. This is not automatic. Membership and meeting specific criteria are necessary. The system also provides free counseling and training to help you find a new job. If you need additional knowledge and skills to find work, you get free education. Let's say you finish your education and get a job. You won't work more than 37 hours a week. And even with just 37 hours of work per week, the annual leave is 5 weeks. This is the legally mandated annual leave. Many collective bargaining agreements also grant employees an extra week off, making a total of 6 weeks of vacation common. This is your protected right while you are employed. If you have a child, the mother and father are given a combined parental leave of 52 weeks. The exact amount of paid leave and how it is split between parents can vary based on employment agreements, but the total leave period is among the most generous in the world. Not only the employee, but if the employee's child gets sick, companies provide paid sick leave. While not all, most large companies offer subsidized breakfast and lunch services for their employees. Some also provide a gym, massage, private medical insurance, family entertainment packages, and free phone and internet services. These additional benefits are more common in large companies and are not universal. Welcome. We have entered Denmark, a country that consistently ranks as one of the happiest and most peaceful on earth, where you don't fear your boss at work or criminals in your daily life. Denmark will be our destination today. Denmark is one of Europe's smallest countries, ranking 133rd in the world by the size of its mainland. It has a land area of 43,000 square kilometers and a population of 5.8 million citizens. However, Denmark is not limited to this land area. It has other territories, including Greenland, 3,500 kilometers away, and the Faroe Islands, 1,300 kilometers away. Greenland, the world's largest island, is part of the Kingdom of Denmark and is 50 times larger than Denmark itself, with an area of 2.1 million square kilometers. When Greenland and the Faroe Islands are added to Denmark's small land area, the Kingdom of Denmark becomes the 12th largest country on Earth. Greenland and the Faroe Islands are autonomous territories within the Kingdom of Denmark, each with its own government, but Denmark handles their defense and foreign affairs. Denmark is also one of the 3 Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Although some include Finland and Iceland in this list, Iceland is geographically separate, and Finland is linguistically different from the Scandinavian countries. However, there is another name that includes these countries. Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Greenland, the Faroe Islands, and the Åland Islands share the collective name Nordic countries. It's worth noting that people often use the terms Scandinavian and Nordic interchangeably. At various times, until they became independent nations, all Nordic countries were territories of Denmark. Today, however, Germany is the only country that shares a land border with Denmark. It is surrounded by the sea, which has made it a cradle for companies that dominate global maritime trade. The capital of Denmark is Copenhagen. For travelers arriving by plane, their first destination will be Copenhagen Airport. The distance from the airport to the city center is 8 kilometers. Upon exiting the airport, you will find taxi, bus, and train transportation options. Copenhagen is one of the European cities with an excellent public transport service. If you choose a taxi, it will cost you a minimum of 250 to 350 Danish krone, or $35 to $50, to get to the city center. You can pay for the service with cash or a credit card. While Uber does not operate in Denmark, other ride-sharing and taxi apps are available, and all taxis are metered. However, $50 is expensive for a journey that takes no more than 30 minutes, so let's show you the cheaper options. As you exit the airport, you will see a ticket machine. The machine operates in Danish, German, and English. You can select your language, enter your destination, and buy a ticket. The ticket you buy from the machine is valid for bus, train, and metro transport. Although the metro is a train service, we can call it a city train as it operates within Copenhagen. Its comfort is also better than regular trains. If you choose public transport, you can travel for less than $5, a journey that would cost $50 by taxi. For speed, it is better to use the metro service instead of the bus. Depending on traffic, it takes an average of 45 minutes to get to the city center by bus. By train or metro, however, it takes about 15 minutes. Now we have reached the city center. Copenhagen 40 years ago was not the city it is today. Especially in the late 1980s, it was a city on the brink of collapse. The industries that were the backbone of its economy had left the city, and its residents had fled because it was not a comfortable place to live. Its riverbanks were polluted with waste from factories, and it was a city that young people did not choose to live in. Today, history has changed. The city that its own citizens did not choose to live in 40 years ago is now ranked as one of the most livable cities in the world. Copenhagen is a city where the number of bicycles exceeds the number of cars, and a majority of its residents use bicycles for their daily commute. Its flat and convenient layout for cycling, its lack of pungent odors, and its clean, pollution-free environment have made it a paradise for cyclists. Copenhagen started planning to achieve zero carbon emissions in 2012. While the ambitious goal of reaching carbon neutrality by 2025 will likely be missed, the city remains a global leader in green initiatives, investing heavily in wind energy, district heating, and green mobility. You may have traveled to many cities around the world and had lunch at the best restaurants. But the restaurant we are showing you today has been honored as the world's best restaurant on multiple occasions. It's called Noma. Although its food is finger-licking good and its fame is worldwide, it is not a place adorned with modern materials. What made it the world's best restaurant, beyond the deliciousness of its food, is that its preparation and presentation, starting from the ingredients, are close to our natural way of eating. Copenhagen is also a city that gives freedom to citizens who want to live in their own world, away from the conventional lifestyle. In the city, there is a neighborhood where a community of free citizens lives according to their wishes, uncontrolled by the government or individuals. It's called Freetown Christiania. It was formerly a military barracks. A few nonconformist members of society occupied the area and started living there in 1971. Apart from the city police who patrol to control crime, the area is self-governing. It is a neighborhood known for the open sale of cannabis on its Pusher Street, which is technically illegal in Denmark but was long tolerated, colorful self-built houses, and a vibrant arts and music scene. There are ongoing tensions between Christiania residents and authorities over the cannabis trade and the area's legal status. The Scandinavian and Nordic countries are known for establishing social justice. Denmark is ranked as one of the top countries in the world for social mobility and low levels of corruption. The source of Denmark's wealth is its citizens. Denmark has a system where it takes from its high-income citizens and distributes to its low-income citizens. It's called tax. The country has one of the highest tax rates in the world. The good thing is that the recipients do not want to always rely on the government, so they work hard. And the citizens who pay high taxes do not complain. Their money does not go into the pockets of individuals through corruption, as in other countries of the world. The tax they pay comes back to them in the form of peace, security, infrastructure, and social justice. While the top marginal tax rate is high, the overall tax burden is comparable to other European nations, and tax compliance is high due to strong trust in government and transparency. Although Denmark is a small country, it welcomes international experts with special skills. Science, technology, engineering, and math professions are a few of them. It is a country where English is widely spoken, so you don't need to know Danish to get a job in Denmark if you have a good profession. However, knowing their language will give you many additional benefits. The employer-employee relationship in Denmark is guided by a model called flexicurity. Companies have the flexibility to hire and fire employees, while laid-off employees have security from the government. However, as mentioned, unemployment benefits require membership in an A-kasse and meeting specific work requirements. But when they say companies can lay off their employees at any time, it doesn't mean that employees are under pressure at their workplace. As long as you are a diligent professional who delivers your work with quality and on time, your freedom is guaranteed. Working from home, which most of the world became familiar with after COVID-19, was widely practiced in Denmark even before the pandemic. In Denmark, the start and end times of work are not feared like a divine law as in the rest of the world. You can start early and leave early, or start late and work late. There is no power hierarchy that makes you think, I'm a few minutes late, my boss will kill me. The work is the boss, and the boss is a friend. They call it a flat hierarchy. If the company decides your position is no longer needed and lays you off, the government will pay you unemployment benefits for up to 2 years until you find your next job, provided you meet the conditions. However, you can't just sit back and collect your salary. Actively looking for a job is a citizen's duty. The salary paid for work is considered satisfactory, but the higher your salary, the higher the tax you pay. In Denmark, education from kindergarten to university is free. Danish children do not start formal education until they are 6 years old. Even though they start late, the education system is not stressful for children. Children are not given much homework, and there are few formal exams in the early years. There is no such thing as class ranking. Although they practice letters and drawing during their time at school, they spend most of their time playing games that help them adapt to their environment and people. Children are not given formal exams until they are 15 years old or reach the 9th grade. 10th grade education is not compulsory. After taking the 9th grade exam, they can enter higher secondary education, gymnasium. However, willing students are encouraged to attend their 10th grade studies at a boarding school, away from their families. This is considered a period of transition to self-reliance, a time to practice life before entering higher education. They learn life skills to live in a community with others. They learn to take on all kinds of individual responsibilities. The system is called Efterskole. This unique Danish tradition helps students develop independence and social skills before higher education. When Danish students complete their secondary education and join higher education institutions, the government gives them a monthly grant. If you are a Danish citizen, you can submit your application and start receiving payments as soon as you start your studies. Citizens of European Union member states or Switzerland are required to work 10 to 12 hours a week in Denmark to receive financial support. Most other international students are not eligible for the grant unless they have specific residency statuses or family ties in Denmark. Students who meet the requirements receive money paid in different tiers, depending on whether they live with their families or independently. Students for whom this money is not enough can take out a state-subsidized loan. In Denmark, healthcare institutions are mostly state-owned. All residents of the country receive medical services regardless of their income and living standards. There are limited private hospitals in the country, but there are many private clinics. The clinics provide medical services that are not covered by the government's health insurance. Depending on the situation, the government will share some of the cost of the medical services you receive at private clinics. Although treatment at public health institutions is largely free, quite a few Danes use private health insurance. Most large companies also provide private health insurance for their employees. This is often done to get faster access to non-urgent specialist treatments, bypassing the public system's waiting lists. Basic and emergency care, however, are accessible to all. Greenland is the largest island on Earth. Although its name is Greenland, or the Greenland, 80% of its 2.1 million square kilometer area is covered in ice. For this reason, although it has a larger land area than many countries, its population is only 56,000. Most of its residents live clustered in its capital, Nuuk. Greenland is a self-governing administration led by a prime minister, but its security and foreign relations are handled by Denmark. Greenland has been moving toward greater independence in recent years, but remains part of the Kingdom of Denmark. From Copenhagen, Greenland is about a 5-hour flight away. The island's geographical features are not conducive to road infrastructure, so residents in different cities on the island, as well as from outside, connect by plane, boat, or even dog sled in some areas. Being very close to the Arctic Circle, it is an ideal place to see the amazing natural phenomenon of the aurora borealis, or northern lights. Recently, the island has become prominent on the world political map after President Donald Trump said he wanted to buy Greenland. It is said that the island is rich in oil, natural gas, fish, and precious minerals. Although Greenland has a large reserve of oil and natural gas, it has not been able to use its resources to date due to the high cost of extraction and environmental concerns. Beyond natural resources, the opening of Arctic shipping routes due to melting ice has increased the island's strategic importance. However, Donald Trump is not the first American president to think of buying Greenland. This dates back to the 19th century, and it is recorded in history that in 1946, the United States offered $100 million in gold to buy Greenland. The clothes we wear, the food we eat, and the items in our homes are mostly transported by sea and reach our hands. The main carrier is Maersk. Maersk is the second largest container shipping company on Earth after the Mediterranean Shipping Company, MSC. It is a Danish company with hundreds of large cargo ships controlling a significant portion of the world's container fleet. It employs over 100,000 people in 130 countries. According to a 2022 report, it made a net profit of $29.3 billion. Maersk has terminals in ports around the world. It also provides air cargo and other logistics services. Although Denmark has many exciting things, it also has its weaknesses. The rising cost of living that is affecting the world is one of them. Housing shortages and high rental prices in Copenhagen are ongoing challenges, especially for newcomers. However, since its citizens are well paid and supported by their government, they have been able to withstand the cost of living. Denmark is one of the countries in the world that gets the least amount of sunlight, with long, dark winters. Another challenge is learning their language. Although almost all of its citizens have basic English skills, learning the Danish language is essential to fully integrate into Danish society. The problem is that their language is considered difficult for many to learn. Another challenge is that it can be difficult to find a job in Denmark unless you have a highly sought-after special skill. You can overcome the challenge of unemployment by learning the Danish language and the high cost of living by living in smaller towns outside of Copenhagen. Despite these challenges, Denmark consistently ranks among the world's happiest and most peaceful countries, thanks to its strong social safety net, high trust in government, and commitment to equality. We will end our tour here for today. Thank you for staying with us.